Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're doing another what I eat in a week. Only difference with this one is that it's kind of related to my pregnancy, but I don't really think much has changed. I'm in my second trimester now. In the first trimester I definitely struggled. I couldn't eat the foods that I normally could eat, but now I feel like I've literally just gone back to normal, except for maybe just having maybe more snacks and slightly more cravings sometimes for specific meals, but I feel like I did that anyway. I was reflecting on this with my friend the other day who's pregnant. I was like, I have cravings, but I feel like I had cravings anyway. You know, and you're like, I have an urge for a burger or I have an urge for a pizza. I feel like I did that anyway. So I don't think much has changed. In my first trimester, I definitely was eating a lot of plain food because I felt nauseous a lot. So lots of toast, plain pasta. I was obsessed with frozen fruit, those kinds of things, but I'm so happy that now I'm actually able to eat normal food again and I have an appetite again. Like, that is miraculous. And I don't feel sick if I don't eat for a few hours. I can just eat normally. I definitely had to eat like smaller and often, so I would have to have like a small breakfast and then eat an hour or two later and then have a snack before lunch and then have a small lunch and then have a little bit later. It was very annoying and I just didn't enjoy food, so I'm grateful that I'm back to it. I'm gonna make some baked oats for breakfast because we've got loads of bananas that need eating. I also feel like I should probably make a banana bread with the rest of them because there's so many that need to be eaten. Not doing so good. Those are probably too far gone. I'm gonna try a banana bread. I'm gonna open them up and see what they look like. So I'll leave a link to this recipe, but it's very simple. You're basically just making some oats and baking it instead. And I'm gonna use an air fryer this morning. I recently got an air fryer, I'm gonna show you in a second. And my mind is so switched on this now. I know lots of you have heard me talk about air fryers in the past and ummed and ahed about whether I need one or want one, because I just haven't been converted and I just used to think, well, what's the point? Why do I need an extra oven? And then Cosori reached out to me to give theirs a go, and I've been using it probably for at least a couple months now, maybe a month. And I am completely converted because in instances like this, I'm hungry, I want to eat. I usually eat a bit earlier, but I wanted the light to be better to film this for you. And it means that I can have this really fast. I was craving this because I saw a video on baked oats yesterday and I was just like, I need to have that. And it means that instead of it taking a while in the oven, it's gonna be so much faster in the air fryer. I've just done the mashed banana. Now I'm gonna add my oats. Some oat milk. The recipe says walnuts, but I'm going to use pecans. Just need to chop them up a bit. I'm also the laziest person on the planet for preheating ovens. You don't have to preheat an air fryer. A little bit of cinnamon, some maple syrup. Just going to finish this one off. I'm full of raisins. I feel like this makes them taste like oatmeal and raisin cookies. And then I'm gonna add this in. This is not in the recipe, but this is some flaxseed, sunflower, pumpkin, chia and goji berries. I'm trying to have some kind of like flaxseed, chia seed, those kinds of omegas whilst I'm pregnant, obviously, because they're so good for you. I suppose that's the only thing that's really changed, is I'm just trying to be more mindful of adding goodness into my diet when maybe I wouldn't be as bothered sometimes before because I didn't have a baby in me to think about, but now I'm like, obviously, that's going to be good for them, and there's lots of variety in this meal and lots of goodness. So this is literally as simple as that. Put it in a baking dish. This is a nice small one that actually fits in my air fryer. How cute. So this is what it looks like. So here it is in all its glory. This is from Cosori and it's their twin fry. It's really nice and big, and I knew that I needed one like this because I'm the sort of person who would want to be able to cook multiple things at once. It has a very large, spacious, I think it's 10-litre grand zone where you can cook obviously a lot, and it's separated, but you also can take this out, which I'm going to do in a second. And when you pop this on, you can see it says grand zone, zone 2, zone 1, so you can cook each zone or you can cook all of the zones. So as you can see, there is air fry, roast, bake, grill, reheat, dry. I've been using the reheat so often to reheat food. For example, if I make chips, I can just reheat them and it works so much better, because whenever you reheat chips in a microwave, they go soggy. This just crisps them up again. So inside it's got 4 heating elements, so it's really efficient for the cooking performance. And I've just fallen in love. I'm a complete air fryer convert and I use it pretty much every day, well, if not every other day. So for this dish, take the drawer out, and then you've got a larger space, so I can just pop my dish in, pop this in, and then I'm gonna bake it. Don't need to do it for that long, so I can change the time. And it's as simple as that. My mum has been nagging me to get an air fryer for so long, because she got one about a year or 2 ago. And I was the sort of person who was just a bit like, why would you need one if you have an oven? But I never had experienced having one, and now I have one. I completely understand why, because since I've been pregnant, there are times when I really want to eat something healthy and nutritious, but I cannot justify the process of waiting to cook in the oven. For example, I want to make chips, but I'll just get frozen chips because I can't be bothered to make them from scratch. Since having the air fryer, I have been making chips so much from scratch, so there's less oil, and you're making it with potatoes at home, and I get organic potatoes from Riverford, so it's so much more nutritious and better for me than just getting the convenience option, which is what I would have done before. And honestly, chips was one of my biggest pregnancy cravings, and it means I can have more tofu. I've been eating so much more tofu, like fried tofu in the air fryer, and Alex is obsessed with it. It's an extra addition to the kitchen that I just thought I didn't need, but actually it has made a big difference. And I know it's going to make a big difference when I actually have a baby. I shared this on Instagram and lots of you said to me, wow, when you have a baby, you're going to be so grateful that you have an air fryer, because it makes life so much easier. If you want to make a very quick dinner, if you can't be bothered and you want something nutritious for all of the family, it's very, very easy. So I am just obsessed. Okay, not quite ready, it's a bit longer. So I'll just do it for an extra few minutes. Okay, so that took about 20 minutes. I actually misread my own recipe. And I thought my recipe said 10 to 15 minutes in the oven, but it actually said half an hour in the oven. So I think there's kind of like a rule. I've got a little book that sort of shares air fryer timings. So 20 minutes and it's nice and cooked. I take a big old scoop. And you can cook it for longer if you want a more like solid consistency. I like it when it's like baked but not like dry or hard. Oh my gosh, it literally smells like banana bread. It smells heavenly. Let me show you. My goodness me, I'm so excited to eat this. Do you know what would go really great with this? I don't have any, but a dollop of coconut yogurt would go so well with this. And I've got enough probably for 1 or 2 more, probably 1 more breakfast and 1 snack. Let's have a little taste test. Oh my goodness, that's so delicious. That's literally exactly what I was craving, that taste. I just love the taste of oats when they've been baked. They like fluff up. What also could be nice is if you sprinkled some brown sugar on top for a bit of crisp. And I don't know if you can tell from the light in this kitchen, but it's sunny today. Spring is not here yet. I'm going to share a couple more air fry recipes in this video, but if you want to try out an air fry and you don't have one, I'd really recommend Cosori. I have absolutely loved my experience of using the Cosori twin fry. Roxy is trying to join me. You stay there, Bobby. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Alex is obsessed, and I'm going to show you a couple more recipes using it. It's so simple, makes my life so much easier, especially during pregnancy. And I know that when I have a newborn and a little one, it's going to make my life so much easier to have that option to cook things really fast and quick, but also nutritious, because I really do care about making sure I'm getting the right nutrition whilst I'm pregnant and also whilst I'm vegan and pregnant. Cosori are running their grand deal at the minute, so they've got up to 38% off, which is excellent. So I'll leave a link to it down below so you can go have a little browse. I'd really recommend the twin fry though. It's so great and I love how big it is, so you can cook a lot in there. And I'm just such a convert. I absolutely love the air fryer. I can totally see myself using it for years to come, and it's going to be so helpful throughout pregnancy and into having a newborn as well. It's just going to be a lifesaver. and I absolutely love it. I really just want chips this evening as well. I think I really want to make my cauliflower burgers, because usually I have to deep fry them, and I want to try doing it in the air fryer. Apart from the fact that it's healthier to do it in the air fryer, it's also such a faff to deep fry food that I just never do it. So I'm going to give it a go. Never done it in the air fryer before, and I also want to make some chips too, and that's what I'm craving. But I'm going to sit here in the sun and enjoy this bowl of steaming hot baked oats, and I'll leave the link to Cosori and their grand deal offer down below. Good evening. We've just got back from Newlyn. I can now say that. Just got back from the cottage. We nipped into Sainsbury's because I actually forgot to get burger buns with the food shop. I'm going to be making my spicy cauliflower burgers. I'm just so in the mood for burgers at the minute with some air fried chips. I'm going to do it all in the air fryer because deep frying cauliflower and that kind of thing is such a faff, and I want to just see if it's a lot easier in the air fryer. I think it's going to be. So we have our cauliflower, and you want to start by taking the leaves off and then place the root down, cut the sides off, and then cut the middle into your burger slices, and I'll show you how you do that. So you get like a really nice chunky middle. And then for the side pieces, you can still kind of crumble these if you have leftover batter and make some little cauliflower bites to go along with it, because you don't want to go to waste. But for the actual like steaks, you want the nice thick slices in the middle. Quite a baby cauliflower, this. Okay, so now you've got your cauliflower head. Chop the sides off because they will just break like that. That's fine. And then the middle, this I'm going to chop into 3. Yeah. Then you should be able to get, well, see that one's fallen apart because it's such a small cauliflower. I've got 2. I actually do have another cauliflower. These are so tiny because they're organic. Often they're a lot smaller. But these can still be, like I said, I'm going to coat them in the batter still and make little bites. I might have to do that afterwards. I'll make the burgers first, but we can put them in afterwards as like a snack that I can have tomorrow. Gosh, this is even smaller, look. Hee. There we go, so we have our cauliflower steaks. So you want 3 bowls, one with panko breadcrumbs or normal breadcrumbs, but panko are nice and crispy. One with just water or milk and water, and then one with flour. And then we're gonna get some spices to flavour up the breadcrumbs and the flour. You can actually use like any spices you like. But I'm gonna do some chili powder, cumin, paprika, and chili flakes. Stir this up and put about half into the breadcrumbs and half into the flour, and then mix this all together. Okay, I actually need a bigger bowl, but I'm gonna add the milk and water into a larger bowl. I didn't read ahead on my own recipe. And then we're gonna mix the flour in and whisk this together to create our batter. This bowl is extreme, my other one is in the dishwasher. You don't need one this big. You just need one in between the 2. Along with some mustard. This is what it should look like, your nice seasoned batter. So now you just take your cauliflower, dip it in the batter. Ignore any side noises, Alex is putting all the leaves in the compost. But you dip it in the batter, and then you can dip it into your breadcrumbs. And you can use wet hand, dry hand. That helps. I always find I still get a dirty hand, but it does reduce the mess. Actually, I'm realising now, a small cauliflower is better, because if you think about the size of a burger bun, if you had a really large bit of cauliflower, it wouldn't really fit into your burger. I'm pretty sure the last time I did this in a video, I had to cut it in half because it was such a big cauliflower. And then you have your breaded cauliflower. So pop that aside and do that with the rest of them. Should have got a bigger bowl for this as well. So excited to eat this. I also just bought some pickled red onion from the supermarket. So that's gonna go so nicely on top of this. Yeah, definitely use a larger bowl. Don't know what I was thinking. I'm obviously hungry and tired. Pregnancy brain. But now you've got your cauliflower. This can go in the air fryer, but I am actually gonna toss the rest of these little pieces in there. So we have some little cauliflower bites, but I probably will just do these after those are done because they won't fit otherwise in the air fryer. Because I'm going to do chips as well, some homemade chips, which are so easy, and I make them, I've literally made them a million times since getting the air fryer. Look how good. Oh my goodness. Cauliflower, I know that's such like a classic vegan thing to make, and sometimes when I like see this on menus I'm like, oh, how boring. But actually whenever I have it I'm like, so delicious though. There's something about the texture of it when it's fried. It really does have a very meaty texture. This would also work really well if you use like a lion's mane mushroom or something and fried that beforehand. I keep seeing that online and I just keep meaning to buy some lovely mushrooms because it's been a while since I've done that. So these are gonna be nice and messy, just to get the last little pieces. I'm just gonna make classic potatoes. I'm gonna peel them, chop them, and then you toss them in a bowl with some oil, salt and pepper, and you put them in the air fryer for 20 minutes and they come out perfect. And they are just unreal. I actually can't quite get over the fact that I can have homemade chips that easily and that fast, because usually I have to parboil them. If I want them to be that fluffy and that tasty, my method usually is to parboil, and then you have to preheat quite a lot of oil in the oven, and they take about half an hour to 45 minutes depending on how many chips you're cooking. So the whole process realistically takes about an hour, whereas this takes 25 minutes because it takes 5 minutes to prep them. And that's just so quick to make homemade chips, which is the same speed as putting frozen chips in the oven. And obviously it's just healthier to make them at home because it's just less ingredients, less oil, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna pop cauliflower on this side. I think I might be able to fit all four. Do you reckon? Let's play some Tetris. I think so. Yeah, look. I'm just going to turn them halfway. That's all four of them, because I don't think that they'll all four fit in a burger, but it means we can have an extra. You can have an extra one if you want one. / there can be one for tomorrow. And I think they'll take about 15-20 minutes, and then chips in there. Is that too many chips?
Maybe.
Well, I'll just toss them around. Okay. And then put it in here. I think I switched it off earlier actually. Grand zone, air fry, done. And I'm just gonna turn them halfway, and then you also shake the chips up. These were done very fast actually, and I did forget to show you to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on them so they get this nice browned top. Chips aren't quite done, probably because there's too many of them in there. So I'm going to take these out, load up our burgers, and put the chips here. I did too many. I chopped too many potatoes. I spoke too soon because we want to put some cheese on top. Take these guys out with my asbestos fingers because I think that this will be enough, and put some cheese on. I literally cannot wait for this. Oh my god. How excited are you for this, Alex?
Pretty excited. I'm excited for this meltiness.
Same. So Alex has whipped up a nice burger sauce, which is mayo, ketchup and mustard. Why is it lumpy?
I think that's the garlic mayo.
Okay.
The lumps. Because the lid wasn't on it for a bit, you know.
So it's gone off.
It's totally safe. It's just, it was like the lovely skin.
Alex,
the mayo.
That's gross. Why would you not tell me that before you made it?
Because I didn't.
Why would you put the skin in it?
I didn't think you'd eat it.
Oh,
I was not really paying attention and I was being a bit silly with it.
Okay.
But it will taste exactly the same and you won't notice it.
Oh, nice crispy cauliflower burgers.
Oh, wow.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna have gherkin. Do you want gherkin? Or do you want red pickled onions?
Pickles, please.
These are some nice pink pickled onions. I think that these are a lovely thing to put on this specifically because the colours look lovely.
Did you make these earlier?
No, but you can do very easily. I just got these in the shop because I saw them and I was like, oh yes. You could do sauerkraut or kimchi, but I think the red onion.
Is that paint on your hand?
Yes. Look at that. Might double up with the sauce.
Yes, please.
With the lumpy sauce that Alex made. Thanks for that. Oh, skin filled sauce.
I thought the lumps would go when I smushed it together with the sieve.
That just looks so dreamy. Oh boy. Wow. Chips are looking crispy and absolutely delicious. So there we have it, our delicious air fryer dinner. Very impressed with this big guy. Look at how good those chips look. Dipped in the lumpy sauce. Best chips you can have. So much better than frozen chips. Now the question is, how on earth do I bite this?
You can do it.
Can I? Oh!
Right, it's on the plate.
Mmm. Crispy, spicy, delicious.
Mm.
It's giving chicken. That's the vibe I'm talking about, like the inside has a chickeny feel. I know it's a cauliflower, it's not chicken, but we're gonna eat this and watch Below Deck or White Lotus. Perfect evening. It's that time of year again that the wild garlic is coming out. It's very early, so they're very young, but March and April are the best times. April's probably a bit better because this whole area will become so full, but I've just got a whole bag because there's so much here. And the way I like to forage is you only take like 1 or 2 leaves from each plant. I think the rule is that you never take more than 1/3 of a plant. Do it on a public footpath. This is a public footpath, and just make sure it's a public footpath. Don't do it on roadsides because obviously those are going to be a bit more polluted. But this is perfect. There's a whole huge area of wild garlic, goes all the way back there, near where I live, near a stream, and I can take Roxy. I have her on a lead on the gate right now and make some delicious wild garlic pesto. Good afternoon. So this morning I went to pick some wild garlic because it is March and the wild garlic is popping up. It's still quite early, but where I live there's actually quite a good selection where there's a whole area that goes wild. In the next couple of weeks it will be so overgrown, but now I can still pick quite a lot. And I'm going to make my wild garlic pesto, which I'm so excited for because when I make it I will have it with every meal. And I become obsessed because it lasts for like 2 weeks in the fridge. I'll leave a link to my recipe down below. It's very, very easy and it tastes so much better than basil pesto ever will. It is delicious, and the fact that the main ingredient is free is fabulous. Also in my blog post I do share about like how to forage wild garlic, like the best practices, and some information on that too. So we can add this all into a food processor. I'm doubling up the pesto recipe today so I have extra. So I'm just adding pine nuts first. Nutritional yeast, this is replacing parmesan. So if you're not vegan, obviously you could use parmesan, but this is the vegan alternative. And I'm gonna run out, I need to get some more nutritional yeast. And if you're wondering, I buy my nutritional yeast in bulk from Buy Whole Foods online, and it comes in this massive 1 kilogram bag, and this lasts a really long time. Much cheaper to do it that way than buying it in the shop. So I think I need to do 2 more. Yeah. And then some lemon juice with the zest as well. Make sure you get unwaxed lemons or organic lemons. I love the flavour of lemons in pesto. I feel like it works especially well in wild garlic pesto because it offsets that really garlicky strong flavour. Makes it taste really fresh. And also it helps with it preserving it in the fridge. Kind of like if you've ever used lemon on top of like fruit, like apples or anything, to stop it from going brown. Honestly, the combination of smells is heaven on earth. Makes me so happy, it feels so spring. Like me squeezing lemon juice with wild garlic and this like lime in this lemon yellow cardigan. And I've not got anything underneath my cardigan, I'm not like wrapped up and I'm not freezing. Oh, spring is nearly here. and then season with salt and pepper. I just eyeball this to begin with, and then you can just season it to taste once you've blended it. Then you just blend it until it's kind of chopped, and then you add in the olive oil gradually. Look at that green goodness, oh my gosh. And I've just tasted it, I added a little bit more salt and pepper, and it tastes perfect. So here we have it. If you double it up, it will make a massive jar. I've actually just used quite a lot of this in that pesto just for demonstration's sake, but it should go to the top of one of these smaller jars, or if you've got like little jars with like little ramekin kind of jars, that'll work perfectly, or just like a normal container. I'll also drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top for storage, and if I'm making pasta, I might drizzle a bit extra on there too, just so it can kind of glide on. But yeah, this will last 2 weeks in the fridge, and I will have it on toast, pasta, as a dip, on top of salads, as a dressing. It's just so versatile, and it tastes like heaven on earth, and it tastes like spring. It's just so delicious. The easiest way to make this is just with pasta, and it tastes so fresh and so delicious. It feels like you're eating a really fancy meal at a restaurant. I feel like I'm in the south of France or something. Not that I even know if wild garlic is a like native plant there, or if you can forage it there. Please let me know if you can, but it's so green and delicious. Oh my gosh. Something I also sometimes do, which I'm going to share as another recipe, is I'll take the wild garlic pesto and blend it with some peas and some spinach. In a food processor, you put like a few tablespoons, and then you get like a super green pesto with veg in there as well. Obviously this is kind of like a herb wild plant, but it just bulks it out, makes it a bit more filling, and it's a really great way to hide some vegetables in there. And yeah, I'm going to share that, like the actual amounts, in a future recipe. So keep your eyes peeled, sign up to my newsletter, and you'll get that in your inbox soon. The best quick lunch, like wow. Good morning. I've got my daily lemon water. I started having this during my first trimester because I think I read somewhere that lemon helps to ease nausea, and also you're so much thirstier during pregnancy, and it's just important to drink more. And I just kept up the habit and it tastes lovely, and I just have to have it every morning for some reason now. So I really wish, in hindsight, I filmed that first trimester vlog, and I suppose I'm putting pressure on myself. I really wish I'd filmed like a what I eat in a day or a what I eat in a week during the first trimester, because it was so all over the place, and the cravings and the kind of like what I was eating, whereas now I've kind of gone back to normal. But this muesli is something that I had a lot because certain, I don't know, other breakfasts I would usually have sometimes are just too much for me, and a simple muesli with like frozen fruit is perfect. So I don't know, I find the pregnant body so interesting because your body literally tells you what you need, and actually it's taught me a lot about listening to your cravings. I haven't had any weird cravings or anything. I suppose in day-to-day life, when I'm not pregnant, I maybe ignore cravings a bit because you're like, oh no, like I shouldn't have that or whatever. When actually when you're pregnant, you're like, no, my body probably is after it. So things like avocados and frozen fruit and oranges, fruit, I've just craved so much throughout my pregnancy. I know that avocados, I think it's avocados or oranges, are really great for neurological development. And I remember reading a list of foods that are great during pregnancy for different reasons for your baby. And so many of the things on there, I'm having loads of. So yeah, I've had this habit of having berries every day because I know they're so good for you. And I'm trying to focus on that, like what's really good for me, what can I add into my diet that's gonna like really nourish me and my baby while I'm pregnant. Yeah, things like frozen fruits, they help soothe nausea, but also obviously berries are just so good for you. I really love the Deliciously Ella muesli, it's so tasty. Was it Swiss muesli? I've forgotten what it is, but it's delicious. And then I top it off with some coconut yogurt for some yummy fats. And then I've just got an apple because I need to eat these apples. They've been in the fridge a while and I keep forgetting to eat them. And truly, this is my dream breakfast. It's cold, it's fresh, it fills me up. It's just perfect. Cold foods as well just really help. I don't have nausea anymore, but I still feel a bit sensitive, I suppose. I have 2 breakfasts now because I eat at like 6:30, 7 in the morning when I wake up. That's so unusual for me. I usually, before I would have my breakfast at like maybe 8, but since being pregnant I have to eat the second I wake up, and then I'm hungry by like 10. So I usually have some toast or something like that. So we've got Philadelphia, vegan Philadelphia. This is the Sainsbury's one. I find the own brand ones the best. My wild garlic pesto, where the great thing about this, I have so much of it, is that I can just eat it every day on everything. And some cucumber, that's been a pregnancy craving of mine. So good. And homemade bread, I'll leave a link to the recipe video for making the bread. Alex makes bread every week, probably like a couple a week. And we usually alternate between like wholemeal or rye and white. This is, I think, a mixed, no, this is white with seeds. I actually prefer wholemeal toasted, but white for a sandwich.
Could you catch me up here? Tell me what you felt. My head is filling bottles that keep falling off the shelves. Well, every word hit like a prism out of color that was wasted. I could see through every layer. This was heaven, I could taste it. Tapping on the counter, terracotta floor. Voices warm and blended, weaving through the door. My skin was wide awake, so close I could hardly take it. Move quiet, leaning into spiritual healing. Spiritual healing. I'm a billion people whispering spiritual healing. An earthquake at each step you take. Spiritual healing. Hearts in a handshake. Could you start from the beginning and don't miss a verse? I'll treat you like a mirror and reflect what I just heard. Well, every word hit like
Right, the sun is shining. This is my lunch. It's so easy. I was filming it, so it took a bit longer, but typically if I'm making this, it takes me like 20 minutes. And I love it because it's packed with protein. It's full of loads of veggies. You can use basically whatever veggies you have that cook fast. So things like cabbage, broccoli, sugar snap peas, edamame, I've got carrot, pepper, all those kinds of vegetables like spinach that just you can throw in and cook in a couple of minutes are perfect. And the reason I make this so often, and I wanted to share a specific like tofu noodle stir fry, is because it's so adaptable. I have this so often. I make the sauce, I'll adapt the sauce a bit, like sometimes I'll make it spicier, or I'll put some like satay, like some peanut butter in there. It just is very variable, but you do not need to buy sauces from the supermarket. I used to always do that, and when I was at university, until I realised if you stock your pantry with things like soy sauce, sesame oil, chili oil, you can make your own sauces so much easier and quicker and cheaper. And to be honest, whilst I've been pregnant, I have really loved noodles, probably because it's a bit of a comfort food for me. I used to eat them all the time, and I feel like I went off them a bit, but they're just so nutritious. They just always hit the spot, you know? You can also use whatever noodles you like. I like udon noodles or ramen noodles, or like thick rice noodles because they tend to slip around better. If you go for soba noodles, they do stick a bit more. Or if you go for really thin noodles, I don't think they have as nice a texture, so I like to go for this kind of, these are udon. Hello, for lunch we're having basically just what I fancy out of the fridge. So I have found a sweet potato, not in the fridge, in the cupboard. And I'm gonna make some sweet potato fries because ever since having the air fryer, I'm addicted to having chips in all sorts because it's so fast. And I love chips. So I'm gonna make some sweet potato chips and then some crispy tofu. And then I'm gonna have some more pesto because it's still going. This is the one that I blended with peas and spinach for my pesto, like super green pesto pasta. I do have a bit of a cold. I just had my midwife appointment as well, so I feel like, because I got to hear baby's heartbeat. And yeah, I'm just really craving like a potato, like with chips and tofu and all the goodness, and I'll have it with some salad, I think. And the sun is actually shining today, which is so good. Puts me in such a good mood. This is like the dreamiest lunch. That mountain of tofu and sweet potato. Now I need to taste the crispy tofu, which is just... I just feel like I'm never going to be able to get over the fact that I delayed getting an air fryer for so long because I was unsure when I can have chips and tofu ready in so little time. My goodness. I also love that BioLife Greek style cheese. It's so nice and lovely to put on top of salads and dishes. It's very, very good. Ah, just what I wanted. Full of colour, full of flavour, and I'm going to be nice and full. This is literally the pregnancy craving I was just so in need of. Something about quesadillas, fajitas. Get me those corn and wheat tortillas and load them up with beans and red onion and spring onion and tomatoes and hot sauce and lime juice and coriander and have it with avocado, and it's just, I've had this sort of meal so much. Let's have a big old bite. Oh my goodness, that's so delicious.
Hey mama, could you get up soon. I get so cold in the other room. Here I am, honey, half awake. Get yourself moving.